What up? What up? What up? Podcast party people. How you doing? How you living? Are you chillaxing? Are you relaxing? You doing all right? How you living? Feeling good? I'm feeling pretty good. I went on a good walk this morning, but it's smoky as fuck. They got this shit called purple air. Purple air is all the smoke shit that you can't see. Not ash. It's not smoke, but it's like the bad shit that's floating around. Had to wear a fucking mask again, second day in a row. We got a couple of fires burning close by. They're just not going away, man. Close. But, yeah. Other than that, doing okay. I'm going to start by saying this right now, that if you are not into politics, or you are not interested in hearing people discuss the current state of America, or police brutality, or BLM, or the state of the world, you should turn this off right now. Right? I'm giving you fair warning, motherfuckers. I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear anything. I'm telling you right now. I'm looking at you right now. If you're on YouTube watching this shit, just go to the sidebar and click on something else. Because we're talking all that shit today. I got a guest here who is very opinionated on it. Very strongly opinionated on it. And I, as you may know, am pretty strongly opinionated on it as well. And we have what I thought was a awesome discussion on the state of America and the state of Black lives and the state of police and the state of people getting along and the state of libtards and conservatives and everything in between. So I'm giving you fair warning. In fact, I'm going to give you one more warning just in case you skipped all this shit like I do when I listen to a podcast. I skip all the intro. I just get me to the intro, get me to the interview. But if you skipped all of it, I'm going to give you one more warning, because this whole thing is chock full of all that shit we talk about, Trump and Biden and all that stuff. This interview was done yesterday, the day of the presidential debates. And if you watch the presidential debates, Jesus God, fucking train wreck. Trump just interrupting and bullying and cutting them off and just my biggest takeaway was what a genius he is at deflecting. I mean, 200,000 people are dead on your watch. Well, if it was your watch, there'd be 2 million dead. I was just, wait, what? Prove it. Fucking prove it. On my watch, there'd be two. Okay, prove it. You can't. No, it's just that kind of shit. Fucking Jesus Christ. Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace was like a kindergarten teacher trying to rein in 2 5-year-olds. My God. I mean, we talk about this on the podcast too, but Jesus Christ, those guys are so old. Both of them are so fucking old. Trump's a 300-pound, 75-year-old man. Like, Jesus. It's insane. Like, this is the best we got. I say that on the podcast too. And I was thinking it last night watching the debate for the amount of time that I could stand to watch the debate before I was like, this is just like watching a Jerry Springer show. This is just a Jerry Springer episode. That's all this is. It's fucking Jerry Springer and, Chris Wallace is Jerry Springer trying to make sense of it all. And just poor Chris. And Chris Wallace, who, everybody's like, this guy's fucking totally a libtard. He's one of them. No, Chris Wallace is on Fox News. He's on Fox News. That's right. He is the most respected journalist on Fox News because he is pretty much the most neutral guy on Fox News, kind of calls it how he sees it. And Oh, that was interesting. That was interesting. I couldn't watch it. I never watch them anyway. Like I like my whole life I've never watched them. I just don't really care about that much. Like I just don't care. And but the big takeaway, the one takeaway is that Trump wouldn't disavow white supremacists, and both Chris Wallace and Biden called him on it hard. And he tried to change the subject. Chris Wallace wouldn't let him change the subject. Tried to change the subject again. Chris Wallace wouldn't let him change it. And then he said, well, who do you, Chris Wallace straight up said, will you disavow white supremacists? And he said, well, who do you want me to disavow? like he didn't understand the question. Tell me, who do you want me to, white, Proud Boys. I say stand down and stand by. That's what he said. Stand down and stand by. So today, this morning, Merriam-Webster's dictionary tweeted out, and they tagged Donald Trump. Stand down means to, you're standing down from a confrontation, but the confrontation isn't ended. And then stand by is and get ready to attack. I thought that was just fucking brilliant of Merriam-Webster's dictionary to fucking tweet out. Yeah. Proud Boys are a white supremacist group. And so the president, the United States, the commander-in-chief, would not disavow white supremacy for all the world to see. And, in 2017, people were, after Charlottesville, they were like, he just misspoke. And, like there's no, 3 years later, there's no misspeaking. So, yeah, if you're listening right now and don't want to hear any of this shit, just skip. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, skip, because the conversation continues just like this. If you're watching on YouTube, skip to the next video, because the conversation for the next hour and a half is going to be this shit. Talking about the racial reckoning of America. A lot. And I'm talking to a black guy who's had a crazy, interesting, amazing life of this band that I love called Fire from the Gods. AJ Channer from Fire from the Gods. Really interesting dude. Smart, funny, just a fucking insane life, insane life. And one of the things that we talked about, if you're still listening now, one of the things we talked about is how, he grew up in a family that, was such a contradiction in so many ways. And, he didn't have these, I'm not even going to get into it. It's great. It's a great podcast. It's really interesting from a really good dude who's got a great fucking band. I love this band. I got to tell you, man, this band has been the first new rock band that I've really connected with in a while, man. Like it's some people are calling it rap rock. I don't like, it's just modern shit, but it has rap in it. It's got some reggae. It's got, a little bit of kill switch in it. Very modern sounding. It's fucking great. It's really, really great shit. They got a new record out now called American Sun, and they have a record out previous called The Narrative, and it's great stuff. Super melodic. It's not very, I don't want to say it's political, because that would be the wrong word, but it's very much about trying to bring us together. And that's a big part of what this conversation that we have here on the podcast is how can we come together? Like we have, we're all fellow Americans. Like how do we work this out? The leaders aren't going to get us there. We've got to figure this out on our own. And it was a great conversation. One of the I got to say, one of the most enjoyable conversations I've had. And it's a heavy conversation at times, but very much enjoyable. Let me go over here to not that one. Let me go to here to my sponsors. I don't want you open. You close. This week's podcast is, first of all, let me go into a couple other things here. First of all, I dropped the Dino podcast the other day. Boom, man, you guys love that shit. Holy crap. I got tons of feedback. Like the response was great. Like it was a It was a big podcast, obviously, mostly because of the fact that Burton from Fear Factory had quit the band and announced it publicly on social media 20 minutes before the interview. And so, it was catching Dino, and Dino was just like, whoa, like, this is shocking. And so, but if you missed out on that one, yeah, definitely go check that out. The Dino interview was great. If you are enjoying the podcast, and many of you are saying that you're saying that you're enjoying the podcast, do me a favor, go to Apple and rate it. Give it a nice comment. Give it a 5 out of 5. Leave a description about what you like about it, blah, 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 who you'd like to see. You can also do that on YouTube. I probably once a week go to the YouTube thing and I read who you guys are asking for. You guys are asking for various guests, various topics, and just giving some feedback, which is cool, and commenting on what the people are commenting on. So I read all of it. Probably about once a week. And finally, just last week, we were able to sort out the No Fucking Regrets podcast email. So you can email people who've been emailing me. We can have stuff. You can tell me about what you thought of, I'll even read. I was thinking I'm going to start reading, like when people discuss things or funny things. I mean, one of the funniest parts of the fucking Dino interview that everybody loved, and I fucking just thought was the funniest shit, was Dino's Max Cavalera impersonation, his Max accent, or as I called, Maxent. he had that shit down to the science, just talk like a caveman, but he did it. I mean, so many fucking funny, that and the goddamn when Max and him are peeing and they got a poser dude in between them at the Foundations Forum, and Max just turns to the left and just pees on the dude. Oh my God, it was fucking hilarious. So yeah, tell me about what you like about the podcast. Tell me about the stories you like. If you write something interesting and funny, I will read it here on the podcast. I'll pull it up. I got it finally. It took us fucking, how long I've been doing the podcast for almost a fucking year now. It took us almost that long to get it sorted out here. It was some weird issue that was not jiving with the computers or something. I don't know what the fuck. But it is No Effin' Regrets Podcast at gmail.com. Again, No Effin', not fucking, but effin', FN, Regrets Podcast at gmail.com. Write in. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me who you want. Tell me if you're enjoying it. All that good stuff. Tell me your favorite stories that people talked about on the podcast, and I'll read them. If they're funny and they're interesting, I'll fucking read them. I'll read them here on the fucking podcast. Let's connect, man. I should start doing that on the YouTube ones too. I should go to the YouTube thing. I'll do that maybe the next one. Let me see. What do we got on the? Let's see. Where am I at here? Okay, we're there. I can go to NFR. I got to put my glasses on for this shit. And then the volume. So I turn the volume down. Yeah, let me mute it here. And it's going to come on. Yeah, boom. Got some views. Got a lot of views right off the bat. This is a big one, man. Let's see here. Too bad. Jeff Azusa says, that's too bad about Burton C. Bell. I've always liked Dino and all his side projects. Good guy. Somebody named Nipple. Oh my God! What the fuck is this name? Nipplecradmzinatagras. Jesus Christ! This is a refreshing look at Dino. I should have skipped that one just because of the name alone. Best select to Dino in the other guys, says Poliflaco. Barry Patton says, since Chino's already on board, how about Lou or Pete from Sick of It All? Yeah, that would be good. I'd love to get Sick of It All on there. Fuck yeah. That'd be killer. I love Sick of It All. Gimme Hand Tats says, I wish people would stop saying FF is done. They're obviously not, and if they do have a replacement, which I'm very bummed about, the machine that is Fear Factory still deserves a listen and then make a decision if they're done for you. I, for one, will. All the years they rocked me, I think they deserve that. That's a good point, man. That's a good point. Mark Burns says, great interview. I literally stumbled onto this and was going live as it was going live whilst I was at work, literally hours after seeing the post regarding Bert leaving FF. It's good to hear Dino sounding positive about the album release next year. I've been an FF fan since 1992 and half expected bad news. I wish Dino and Bert the best. Rob, you're a natural at this. Thanks for the shows. You're welcome, Mark Burns. Lynchpin 2010. Dude, Lynchpin probably took his name from the Fear Factory song. Dino always seems like a good dude. I feel bad he has to deal with those drama queens. Can't wait to hear the new album. Rob and Dino should do a side project. That would be epic, says Vance and Mendoza. Yeah, we got a lot of comments on here. I should have went through these beforehand. I don't want to read everything. Sea Change says, loving this whole series, Rob. Been watching every week and just discovered your interview with Lars Fredrickson as well, which was killer. Right on, Sea Change. Chris Jacobs says, Rob, exclamation points. 4 exclamation points. I love you, man. Exclamation points. These podcasts are great. Such a natural with this dude. Much love from Maine. Keep you up these podcasts, brother. Also, suggestion for the show, Greg Pucciato from Dillinger Escape Plan, Killer Be Killed, Black Queen. He has a new solo album coming out called Child Soldier. Killer Be Killed. Love to see him. He does not do many interviews. Love and respect to you. Awesome. That's what's up. Hard hitting news with Robb Flynn, says Juan Garcia. Justin got an interview with, but Burton didn't quite yet. I wonder what happened with that. Juan Garcia. Is that the Juan Garcia that we talked about on the show? Could very well be. Let's see. Universal Guitar Based Music, number 3 says, first album equals Cookie Monster on the verses. Korn were clearly inspired by Fear Factory. What FFMH, Sick of It All, Biohazard in one night sounds like the best gig ever. No, Machine Head wasn't on that bill. We went there. We went and hung out. We hung with the boys. All right. Anyway, that's enough of that. Thanks. These are great. Awesome interview. Rob is the podcast king. Dino was great. Says Benzin PSV. All right. Okay. So again, I read the comments. I don't normally read them on the podcast. That was the first time. But there you go. Leave some comments, man. This podcast, oh my God, my voice is cracking from 2 podcast days in a row and an intro. My voice is cracking. I think I'm going to take tomorrow off from singing so that my acoustic happy hour, if you did not know, I do an acoustic happy hour every Friday on Facebook at 3 p.m. Pacific time, PST. That means it's 6 p.m. in the East Coast. That means it's 11 p.m. in the UK. It means it's midnight elsewhere, but we rage. It's a 2-hour show, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. I play acoustic songs. I drink beer. I encourage people to have sex and smoke weed. That's what we do. And we listen to music. And I play music. And I just want to make an announcement on this that's coming up here. We're going to have a Halloween rager. Halloween falls on a Saturday, but the day before, the Friday, will be the acoustic happy hour. Hashtag Halloween head case. We're going to have a rager. Do some songs. I'm thinking about a whole Halloween theme show with musical acoustic versions of Halloween themed shit. I don't exactly know, but I sense there will be typo negative quite a bit. Some other stuff. But anyway, every Friday I do these. If you are stuck in the pandemic like everybody else and you got nothing better to do on Friday because you can't go out to the bars and you can't go out to shows, well, fucking hang with me. It's for free. If you feel like leaving a tip, you are welcome to. If you feel like leaving stars on Facebook, you are always welcome to. If you cannot afford to because you are one of the 16 million people who are still currently unemployed in the United States, you do not have to do anything. Your presence is awesome, and I love that people come and hang out. All I'm trying to do is make your Friday a little bit better, man. That's all I'm trying to do. Just make your Friday good for 2 hours. And then I go home, and my wife and I listen to more music, and we get drunk in my garage. So that's every Friday for me. So if you want to join me on the Friday, and just giving you a heads up, this coming October 30th, Friday, October 30th, will be an epic Halloween rager of biblical proportions, man. It's going to be good shit. All right. This podcast is presented to you on the Gas Digital Network. Gas Digital has got sick podcasts, bro. Fucking hashtag sick, bro. They got Josta podcast. You know Josta podcast. He's coming out with Josta Pasta. He's got a new Hate Breed record dropping, but he is my podcasting mentor. He is the one who inspired me to do this podcast. So definitely check out Joss's podcast. It's awesome. He's funny, great shit. He's fucking been in the game for years ahead of me. They also have funny shit like Legion of Skanks. They've got political shit, libertarian shit, conservative shit, libtard shit, whatever you want. Anything you need, they got it. Head over to Gas Digital. And if you subscribe to Gas Digital, use the code NFR. Get 10% off your subscription and the first 14 days for free. Code NFR for no fucking regrets. Save, subscribe. People are always asking me, hey, how can I fucking help you out? I know you guys don't have any tour dates for the next 2 years. Subscribing to all this stuff and I just want to let you know, Twitch. I got the Twitch twats Twitch twats watching me right now. I am on Twitch. I've been on Twitch for months now. Those motherfuckers finally approved my shit. Finally approved. Fucking 2 months I've been waiting. I've been an affiliate now for almost 3 months. 2 months I've been waiting for them to approve my fucking subscription status. Had to fucking cancel it, fill it out again, waited another month, then fucking canceled it again, filled it out 2 times yesterday because the first time didn't work again. Finally, you can subscribe to my Twitch channel now, right now. So if you head over to twitch.tv/Robb Flynn, it's that easy. Robb Flynn, come and subscribe, hang out. I jam Monday through Friday. Depends on the time, but generally around 3 o'clock I start. Sometimes it's later if I've got a podcast that goes on for a long time. Sometimes I start as late as 5 p.m. But I'm there every day hanging with the Twitch twats. It's now Subs Club. So you can subscribe to the podcast, which I appreciate. You can subscribe on Twitch, which I appreciate. So do all that stuff. Also, this podcast is presented to you by Nuclear Blast, the finest, the heaviest of all the heavy metal labels out there. The heaviest of all the heavy metal labels out there. Nuclear Blast has got awesome physical product. Warehouses full of ridiculously high quality physical product. If you are into physical product, they've got you handled. They've got, you know what they got on their shit. They got Machine Head, they got Nightwish, they've got Madball, they've got all kinds of shit. Killer black metal, killer stoner metal, killer, blue pills, like everything, all kinds of crazy shit. So head over to nuclearblast.com. They have warehouses in both the United States and Los Angeles, California, as well as Donsdorf, Germany. They ship everywhere, and they got what you need. And they got other bands that aren't even on the label that they ship for as well. So definitely check it out because they've got shit from Meshuggah. They've got stuff from Opeth. They got stuff from other bands. You can even buy, if you want to, you can even buy like a fucking Burning Red vinyl or some shit. And that's not even on Nuclear Blast. So check it out. Head over there. Also, my sponsor today, my voice is cracking. I need to shut up and fucking start singing and working on acoustic songs. My sponsor today is, once again, the mighty Altamont Beer Works. Head over to altamontbeerworks.com, enter code NFR, and you can get their delicious IPAs and stouts and lagers delivered to your front door if you live in California. Again, enter code NFR, get 10% off your entire order, and get some of their badass IPAs in there. Right now, if you go to the delivery section of the store, they got Maui Wowie Wet Hopped. That's their new shit right there. What's this? Maui. This year's batch is thanks to our good buddies at Ghost Town Brewing Company who drove us back some freshly harvested hops from Coleman Farms, wet and juicy and loaded with fresh tropical hoppiness. It comes in a 4-pack, because that's the jam now. You buy a 4-pack, it's in cans. They got, if you're into rap, if you're an old school hip hop head, especially if you're a Bay Area homie, you remember Mac Dre. Mac Dre took over the Bay Area fucking probably like 10 years ago. Fizz Nation, Fizz Platinum IPA is what's up. laced with loads of Mosaic, Cashmere, and Eldorado hops that hit hard with flavors, aromas of fresh tropical fruits, ripe orchard fruits, and sticky, icky dank. 6%, motherfuckers. 6%. They have got 4-packs available for delivery right now. That's a hot item. That's a fucking hot beer, I tell you right now. They've got crowlers of beer as well. They've got a rosé beer, Berry Cool, an Imperial Fruit Ale. I never even heard of that one. An Imperial Fruit Ale. We took everything you loved about Berry White and doubled it times 2, double the wheat, double the Munich hops, and overloaded it with cranberries and raspberries. The result is a sweet, juicy summer sipper that gives you warm and fuzzies, like when you used to climb the rope in gym class. In gym class? Okay. They also got some sick, I got to say, they got some badass merch too. They got some really cool merch. They got a beer, they got a 10 packs of Hella Light. Get it? It's a NorCal thing. Hella Light, crisp and easy drinking, moderately hopped with 100% cashmere hops. Head over to altamontbeerworks.com. Enter code NFR for 10% off your entire order. They will deliver throughout every corner of California, from Eureka to San Diego to El Centro, California on the fucking border, all the way to fucking Shasta, motherfuckers. That's right. 11 hours apart. Do that shit. Anyway, let me move on. Let me play you some fire from the gods here. I'm going to play you some of this shit right here. Check this out. This is off their first album, Lifeline. This is a song called By the way, I'm going to post all of these. I've been posting all my playlists. I've been posting links in the general journals, and I've been posting them in my Instagram story. So if you like the songs that you're hearing, you can just swipe my story, and it'll take you to this playlist. Check this out. This song's called Lifeline. This song's kind of a jam. Good lyrics. Good lyrics. Like this. I got like a pop punk vibe. Tell you what though, this song is awesome. Into the Blue. This song's so good.
Wash me away.
Killer lyrics to this song.
I'm sick and lying and telling myself that it's all good, it's gonna work out. Living in doubt, running away from the truth, just to accommodate you. What can I do? Tell me why I should deny who I am and where I'm disguised. Unfortunately, we built our house on sand. The tide is coming in. This is the end. I let go. I'm not feeling this anymore. Caught in the undertow. I can't take this anymore. I might move on.
So good.
I might move on. Just let go. I'm not feeling this anymore. How many mistakes? How many days?
This song called Excuse Me. Big hit for them.
Look what I found. Come get down. It's that revolution sound. Call it the second emancipation. Break these chains and let me out. It's not violence. I'm on a bump of my
Tell you what, this next song though, this shit's my jam right here. This shit takes me back to Turks and Caicos right here. I'm like, ooh, yes. Take me back to Turks and Caicos. With the ganj where I drink beer starting at 2 o'clock every day, man.
I am the refugee, post the China tragedy. I am the future, everything you
Shit
need
right
to
there.
be. I am the chosen.
I love this reggae flavor of the verse.
I am the one. I'm the American son. I shed my skin, my old self wasted away while I'm sitting in a corner contemplating better days. I free my mind.
That shit's so Turks. That shit's so reggae. Love it. I love it. Takes me back to Turks and Caicos.
But they need to wait while I still remain to flush out all these demons in my brain that always drain. The life goes from my veins.
That chorus is hard.
Cast me away, push me to the limit, wanna see me fall right off the summit. I was lost, now I'm found. Build me up,
His voice is
don't
killer.
tear me down. So far gone, I'm the one, the American son. I am the refugee, post the China tragedy. I am the future, everything you need to be. I am the chosen.
This is a song called Victory, quite popular. I think this is their number 2 song on Spotify at least. Oh no, number 3 song. Yeah, this is all from an album called American Sun, Fire from the Gods.
Start at the top, let's start at the beginning. Walk this road with me, I'll tell you what I'm thinking. Pass the time with me while I get
I tell you, if my wife likes this shit, yeah, like,
just listen.
yeah, transcended something because she hates everything.
If I said I was okay, I'd be lying through my teeth.
But this right here is the number 1 song. Number 1 song for Fire from the Gods on Spotify. Right here, this song right now, number 1 song on Spotify. With a jam too. Anyway, guys, one more warning. We talk about all kinds of stuff under the sun, but we do get into the politics. So if you are not into that kind of stuff, I would suggest tuning out right now because this is my interview with the mighty AJ from Fire from the Gods. AJ.
Yes, mate. Yes, bro. Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited about this, dude.
Oh, this is awesome. I'm stoked. I have to say, since we did that interview on your thing,
yeah,
my wife and I, the whole pandemic now, we transfer in my garage into kind of like a little hang area. And so every Friday and Saturday, we have like date night and we'll start out in the backyard and then we'll go in the garage and just, drink and chill and listen to music. And Fire, dude, your band has totally like consumed our Friday and Saturday nights. Like,
that's awesome.
My wife, let me tell you, my wife hates metal. Period. Like, just does not. She hates almost 99% of all metal bands. She hates, and she fucking. Yeah, so I'm playing it and I'm listening to it. It's like, fuck, this is so goddamn good. So I've been listening to a lot of it, man. And congratulations, you have a fucking awesome record. Like, amazing.
Thank you.
ridiculously
Now,
great record.
did you check out Just American Son, or did you listen to Narrative as well?
No, narrative as well. We've been doing like
Okay.
the top 10, and so it's playing songs from both.
Okay. Sick. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. There's a
That's
narrative.
that's funny, man.
There's two
We hear that a
narratives,
lot.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's narrative and narrative retold. Narrative retold has an extra 3 songs on it. One is a kind of an acoustic reimagined of Excuse Me, and the other two were The Voiceless and The Taste, which really we don't listen to, we don't play, or anyone really never really talks about that song. But we did those at JD's studio in Bakersfield.
I was just reading that Jonathan produced those.
Yes,
Korn.
He did.
Rad. How'd that
it was
all
a
come
cool
about?
experience, man. So we were kind of close to Sumerian for a while. Ash Avildsen, who was managing JD specifically, not Korn, or wasn't involved in Korn, but he was managing JD's stuff, and he was going to put out JD's record, and he really liked Fire from the Gods, so he was kind of helping us, even though we were on Rise Records, another label. He was still helping us kind of get the ball rolling, like helping us get tours and stuff like that, because Rise was just nothing against Rise. They were just like, okay, here's this new band, here's some money, go record, and here, find your way, you know. And
Right.
that was kind of tough, because although we had been touring for a while, we had been independent forever, like most bands, we still were like looking to get on real tours, get a real booking agent, and just really get active. And so Ash stepped in and helped, and he was at JD's studio one day, and he was like, yo, and Ash said to JD, check out this band, Fire from the Gods. And JD was like, oh, this is sick. He's like, I'd love to write a song with these guys. So immediately, Ash gets in touch and says, man, JD wants to write a song. Can you guys get out there? We're like, yeah. We hopped in the van and just went out there and spent a week. That dude was really awesome, man.
So you guys drove from the East Coast?
No,
from Texas. That's right, from Texas.
Yeah, we're in Austin.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we were about to start a tour in about 3 days, in about a week. And so he was like, okay, you can spend 4 days and then just go meet up with your tour. So that's exactly what we did, man. We were, you know the story, bro. We're one of those bands. Oh, we got to go now? Let's go. Oh, we got a tour starting in a week? Okay, we're on it, you know.
Right.
We're just like, you know, we're typically hungry, especially back in those days. So we just hopped in the van and just went and did it.
That's awesome. And so you spent 4 days at his house, or he has a studio in Bakersfield?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yo, dude, you're from California, so you know what Central Cali is like. Especially like what's the place it's called? It starts with a D. It's in Bakersfield.
It's a restaurant or something?
No. It's the area. It's the area.
You know what? We never get to Bakersfield's way out of the way, man. It's like desert town.
Yeah, it's Oildale.
Yeah. Oildale. Oh yeah, Oildale. Yes.
Yeah. So that was like
all the oil. It's trippy, right?
That was like neo-Nazi like capital. I'd never seen anything. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. To be fair, and I've seen a lot of shit, and I've been approached with that, but this was like full out in the open, swastikas everywhere.
Holy shit! Really?
It was like American History X.
Wow, that's crazy.
I kid you not, bro. And they were like, and JD was like, yeah, oh yeah. But Bakersfield, that's where they're from, so it wasn't it wasn't out of the ordinary. But for me, like walking around, it was like, yo, everywhere you go, make sure you go with AJ. Make sure that you know what I'm saying. And but the whole week was just like, aside from that, the whole week was incredible, because JD is like, he's not super involved in the production, but he was kind of like an executive producer. And it's Jonathan Davis, you know what I'm saying? For us, it's like, especially for me, being a new metal kid coming from that era, I was just like, oh my God, this is insane. So it was just a real cool experience. And he had an engineer there, a guy called Bud. I forget his real name, but Bud worked with like Incubus. He did some Metallica stuff, and he was just there. Like he did like the last 5 Korn records as well. And so
you guys wrote a song together Or you had
Yeah,
a song already and then he just collabed on it with you?
yeah, he was just basically like, okay, why don't you sing it like this? I mean, and then he had all like Head and Monkeys like pedals and stuff like that, and he was like, yeah, we use this for this, and so it was like the audio files in the band were able to be like, oh, let's use these, all these cool toys, and then we made like this kind of like really heavy, kind of fuzzy, funky kind of. It was weird, man. Like I'd never really heard a song like that. When you listen to the Voiceless, it's got like that heavy fuzz pedal stuff going on, and we had never worked with anything like that in the past. So it was new for them as well as me to. And then just the vocal tips, and he gave me some of his warm-up tapes and stuff like that. So it kind of changed and helped the band, but we did it within a short span of days. Like in 4 days, we completely transformed as a band. So that's another, I guess, positive about Fire from the Gods. Man. Like, yeah, we're adaptable like that, man. Like we're very adaptable to situations, and it's it's hard to find that, especially in this type of music. It's really hard to find 4 other guys that are really on the same page, and we lucked out like that. So I think that's why
it's almost kind of a miracle that you found the guys that you're playing with in Texas, because you guys have like, you've got like such a combination of, you got reggae, you've got hip hop, you've got, kind of pop punk at times, hardcore at times, metal at times, like it's just so all over the place. And it's like, you found the reggae guys in Texas? Okay.
Yeah. But see, our drummer, who is also the main writer in the band, he's actually a guitar player that plays drums. He's from Germany. He's from Wiesbaden, Germany. And he grew up, he's like, kind of me. He's like an American German kid. Like his family's half German, half American, but he was born in Germany. And he grew up like listening to reggae and, listening to Killswitch Engage and Rage Against the Machine, but really into like 311, so it made so much sense. And we went into the studio on Narrative with David Bendeth, and he was just coming off of mixing A Day to Remember and Bring Me the Horizon. And that was another situation. Yeah, exactly. He did Sempiternal. And that was another situation where it was like, whoa, we just got thrust into the fire, because we had recorded, obviously, but we'd never been in a situation like that. And I personally had never been in a situation like that. And by that point, I was about 30 years old. So that even still for rock and roll is a little bit late, but it was just like, yo, you either gonna put this record out, you're gonna learn to do this, or you're probably gonna have to come back in another 6 months from now. And I don't know if I'm gonna have the time. So everything worked out for us to be there at Bendis, and we did it all. We recorded Narrative, wrote and recorded this thing over a month and a half, but we wrote it within like 2 weeks.
Crazy. That's really fast.
Adaptability, bro. We are very adaptable.
Why did you were you guys not playing together as a band prior to that? I mean, were you doing shows?
We were doing shows. We were playing some of the old stuff that had kind of got the band a bit popular before, but the old stuff was like we didn't have a very good relationship with the other vocalists that left, and it was kind of like
I read something about that. There was there was 2 vocalists at one point or something, right?
So we had 2 vocalists, and then we were supposed to be filling in for one guy who was overcompensating. As you know, a lot of guys do. They go into the studio and do a bunch of shit and then can't do it live. So we had 2 guys, and the thought was, we're going to have one dude that's going to be a rapper, and we're going to have one dude that's going to be like the hardcore metal singer and, bring in some of the clean vocals. But then it was just like, I was like, dude, I can do all of this. I've been doing this. I can do all of this. And then the other guy, it just phased him out because the writing just came to a point where it was like, we don't need dual vocals. And at the time, within our scene, a band called Volumes was really popular, and Volumes had the dual vocalist thing. So everyone was like, you can just be like Volumes.
Mikey and Young Yogi, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, Mikey hadn't even joined the band yet. It was Mike joined the band a little bit after. Yeah, Mike was in the band by that point. Mikey and I go way back, which I'm sure Mike Terry is an OG, man.
Yeah, so, totally.
Yeah,
Bury Your Dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we toured together when he was in Bury Your Dead. That's how I met him.
Okay, of course. So Yeah, so everyone was like, yo, you can do this volumes thing. And then we're in there with David Bendeth, and David Bendeth is not an easy producer to work with.
Oh no.
To say the least. But he was just like, why do you need another guy in your band? What do you need a screamer for? What is this guy gonna come here to New Jersey and record with me and just scream? And he's like, anybody can fucking scream. So I'm like, all right, bro, we get it. So he kind of put me through this like gauntlet, man. But again, it was a situation where it was kind of like, if you really want to do this and you're determined, then you're gonna have to do it. And that's part of the ethos of Fire from the Gods. It's like, get the fuck up and do it. If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna change, if you're gonna accept responsibility for yourself and your actions, you're gonna have to adapt, and you're gonna have to really put all you've got into it. So there was a whole ball of emotions and just everything going on. I was still working at the time, and it was over the holidays. So the guys had left Texas, and we're talking about Texans in New York in December. So they were getting all stressed out. They weren't at home.
What's with the snow shit, man?
Yeah, exactly. In Brooklyn, you know what I mean? So, and it wasn't like the nice part of gentrified Brooklyn. We're talking about in Bed-Stuy. Right. So these kids are like, yo, this is wild, man. Like, this is not what, but again, it kind of really helped forge and solidify, and we took a lot of that emotion, and we just hit the road, and Excuse Me just took off, man, thanks to like Octane and Vince over there, the programmer, who I'm sure you know, and Jose. All those guys just kind of got behind Excuse Me, and then it was like, oh, who the fuck is this band Fire from the Gods? And then before you know it, we're doing Wimmerfest, and then we're on Warped Tour, which we're like scene kids anyway. We're like hardcore scene kids. That's why we have that vibe, the pop punk in there. We're into like the Warped Tour life. That's who we thought we were. But as the time developed and as people started to get into the band, it was kind of like, yo, we want to do something a little bit different here. And then the message started to really take shape and what the message was all about. Because at first, it was like, are you a political band? We used to get that all the time. And I would say politics doesn't really have a lot to do with our music. And the way I would explain it, which I think I told you before, it was like, I'm a black man in America. Therefore, my very existence is political. So anything I say is going to be taken as, well, that can be,
right.
He's
for sure.
He's getting militant. You know what I'm saying? I could just be talking about the prison industrial complex, and they'd be like, this nigga's the next fucking Malcolm X.
Don't turn into the angry black man. We don't want that.
Exactly. So that, so I'm saying, so it was taken a little bit like that. But, what I was really trying to explain was that it's life and everything around you. And that's where the Unite or Die came from, and the idea of In Us We Trust is that we're going to be here together whether we like it or not. So we're going to have to find a way to exist. If we don't, we're just going to keep killing each other. We're just going to keep, and a lot of that, because again, I'm from, I'm from urban centers in America and urban lifestyle. I know what it is, and you know what it is. You know what it is when you're broke, when you're hungry, when you're poor. You know what that mindset can do to you, and you know what happens. You lash out, you get angry, and you kind of forget and miss out on the things that life really has to offer. But when you're centered, and when you're given that nourishment and nurturing, that a lot of people get in this world, you don't come out maladjusted, and you're not, they're not building a prison down the block from where you grow up, because they're just like, oh, you're just going to end up in jail anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you can start changing yourself and changing the people around you. And so the message started to take shape during like the first kind of touring cycle of Narrative. And then Narrative Retold happened after that, because it was like, oh, then the JD situation happened. But ever since then, it's just been this evolution.
What label you guys on at that point? Is that
at that point we're still on Rise Records?
Okay, gotcha.
We're still on Rise. The guys based in
and that
Portland.
Rise is that's like almost a major, right? Like it's like through Warner or something.
They were bought out by BMG. Yeah, so they were, at that point they were a major label. So yeah. As that relationship started to develop, we're starting to get a taste of what it's like to be a new metal band on a major label. And it's like, okay, I get it. Now I see why indies exist, and now I see why a lot of bands jump up to, why bands back in the day went from Roadrunner to Warner Brothers and then back to Roadrunner. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I started to understand
so many
what that
bands.
meant.
Yeah, so many bands.
Yeah. So I was like, dude, we need a situation that was going to really help nurture this message and get it out there and make it and really hone in, because a lot of people just weren't getting it. And it was just like, oh, they're just a metal band. Oh, they're just a political band. Or, well, we like the music, so how do we try to? And so with American Son, I think, even being that we're older guys, I mean, everyone in the band is above 30 except for our drummer. So at that point, maturity stops at a certain level, and you're just like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But we were just like, we're gonna have to adapt and really kind of hone in on what we want to say. So the band did mature, and you can tell from the sound, from Narrative to American Son,
for sure,
that there was a
Absolutely.
level of maturity, and we kind of took it up there. But we also worked with a really good producer in Eric Ron, who's there in LA. I went out there with that dude and sat with him for a little bit, and he understood. He got what hip hop and like what a rock record with a hip hop ethos should sound like. Not so much a rap rock record, but a hip hop delivery with rock style vocals, or the music still sounds metal, because we were saying we want to play heavy music. We want to be heavy. We want to be heavy. He's like, you can be heavy without being, without it being metal. You can be heavy and produce that in many different ways. So that, again, another eye-opening experience on how to express yourself musically. And that's exactly what happened with American Son. And
I mean, one of the things that I like about what you're saying there is because, one of my biggest gripes with hip hop / metal records is that, like, when the metal part kicks in, like, you lose all the low end, you lose kind of the, the groove, like, people are doing like a synthetic hip hop beat, which sounds super dense and fat. And then the band kicks in and it sounds thin and terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And that you guys don't have that. Like, it's like very natural, even if you have, and occasionally you have you rapping over like the band, you're rapping over like what the band is playing, which is also really cool, like just cool textures and cool vibe like that. Like, it makes a big difference to me. It makes a big difference. So somebody was saying,
"Oh, Machine Head tour, bro. You gotta take us out, my guy." Yeah,
man, that'd be dope.
But carry on. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
Somebody was saying that, like, oh yeah, they remind me of Seven Dust, and I was like, they don't remind me of Seven Dust at all. Like, there's so much more, especially like just the reggae thing and like the rap thing, like it, and even just like the music is a little more like, when it gets melodic, it's more, I don't want to say more melodic than Seven Dust. It's just more, I don't know what, it's just
the delivery is different.
Yeah, it's different.
Don't get me wrong. I draw a lot of inspiration from LJ. And it's evident, but at the same time, like, it's not like we're not trying to rip Seven Dust. We weren't trying to be like, oh well, Seven Dust does this, let's do that. Like a lot of people, right? And I don't know, when everyone used to say that, they'd be like, dude, it's like Seven Dust, or is it like Kill Switch? I'm like, is it just because those guys are black? Like, I don't want to say that, because I don't want to equate it to that, because that's not why I'm into to music, and that's not why I'm doing what I want to do, because I want to be this black guy in a band. And it's like, black people, we're not monolithic. We don't all think the same and sound the same. And when we get into metal bands, we're not trying to be like the next black guy. We're just doing what we do. And so it did annoy me for a little bit, but what kind of disarmed that was when LJ actually posted on his Snapchat. He was like, yeah, we listen to Fire from the Gods to warm up. Then I'm like, okay. So if they don't see it as we're trying to rip off these guys, they're just like, yo, this band's dope. And they took us out on tour. They took us out on the road, and we had a fantastic time, man, and they were just like showing a lot of love, and the Seven Dust fans embraced us. And that really kind of helped catapult Fire from the Gods, because it took the numbers up. It took the numbers up exponentially during a Seven Dust tour, because it looked like, oh, those guys are breaking a band to their fans that no one had ever seen before. So it was a real good experience, and it came out like now we're not the next Seven Dust. We're just Fire from the Gods. Oh, that band was on tour with Seven Dust.
Was Clint in the band at that time? Clint
Yeah.
Lowry?
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
nice.
this is only a few years ago. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. He's a maniac.
Oh yeah.
He's a
So
maniac.
we heard about those days, and when he was in Korn,
Oh my
he
God.
told us
Yeah.
about that. But he's like super clean, sober now, and family
okay,
man.
that's good.
Yeah, he's
Good.
a new family. Yeah, so but those
we
dudes,
toured with them back on the first album for Seven Dust, and then we toured with them when he was in Korn. It was just dude, talk about fucking raging maniac lunatic. I love him.
They told us about that. Vinny, the bass player, he was like, "Bro, we were on so much coke back then, bro. We were so drunk and whacked out of our minds, bro." He was like, some poster that we were looking at that someone had brought for them to sign. He was like, "Man, I don't even remember this fucking day. I was so whacked out." I was like, "All right, bro." But
they were the cocaine
learned...
cowboys.
yeah. But we learned, man. We are very adaptable, and we've learned over time, because we did like 2 arena runs with Five Finger Death Punch, and you already know that our message meets Five Finger fans. It was like, what's gonna happen? But it wasn't like, who is this band and how dare you say these things? It was like, okay, this is cool. Some people are like, I'm not really into it, but for the most part, we tried to like kind of siphon off fans from their kind of core fan group, Midwest, Middle America, places that the flyover states, so to speak. But people, they embraced it, man, and they saw it for what it was. We're not trying to be this band that's saying, pick a side. The message has never been about the Unite or Die. Can seem a bit harsh when you hear it. It's like, damn, I don't want to die, dude. But why? Unite with what? But it's like, again, if we can get over our differences and start to see the things that actually unite us, we can unite. And the things that actually that we have in common, we can unite, and we can get over these things of the past. We don't have to continue to tear each other apart. But if we don't, we're eventually just going to fizzle out and fade, and we're just going to carry on with the same bullshit we've been doing for years. And people get that. And so where we are now with Fire from the Gods' message, I guess optics mean everything these days. So by me going to Minneapolis, by me going to Atlanta and being more vocal about police brutality and stuff like that, now it's like, oh my God, here we go. This is this band, they're about BLM, and they're about this, and they're about that. And it's like, we've never, ever in the existence of Fire from the Gods said that we want you to pick a side. All we want to say is just stop and think and be a bit more accepting. But things like police brutality and stuff like that, I'm not going to stop talking about that because it fucking exists. So you can't gaslight me into thinking that racism doesn't exist and I'm just imagining this. And Doc and I are going to be talking tomorrow, and he's come under, So he's come under a bit of scrutiny about some of the things he said. We were part of this Loudwire. Yeah, exactly.
Is the Loudwire thing tomorrow? Well, can you turn your camera just a little bit? Can you turn your camera just a little bit? You're kind of like getting cut off. There you
go. Loudwire, that came out last Friday, and
gotcha. Okay,
the
round table.
Yes, the vitriol. Because you were supposed to be a part of that, weren't you?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I thought you were mentioned in it. I was on it with Derek.
I wasn't asked.
Oh, I for some reason I thought that you were involved. But Derek from Sepultura, Mark from Lamb of God.
Mark Morton. Yeah, that would have been good. I didn't know that. I thought that was coming up. I want to hear that. That's probably. Was it live? Was it live? You guys did a live Zoom, or they put it up as a?
Yeah, we did a Zoom, and then obviously Loudwire attached an article to it. It was about an hour and 30 minutes, and people were just like, "Here we go again with the," But a lot of people didn't read it. They didn't read the article, and they definitely most certainly didn't watch the video, because you can tell by the context of their comments. Like, you obviously didn't watch this. The headline was, how can metal be more accepting? A discussion.
Right.
And so basically all we did was just give our personal experiences and the most important part, we didn't talk about how metal, it can be exclusive. We talked about the inclusion. We talked more about how metal music, what it means to us and how it's embraced us and how we just want to be, again, we're not monolithic. So I don't just want to be that black guy in the band. I just want to be, hey, that guy's in the band. You know, like, oh, that's the band with the black singer, or the band with, there was also a female vocalist. And you know it from experience, it's always like female fronted bands. That's not a genre, dude. They're just bands. They're just bands. So, you know, it's not, bands fronted by black guys or bands that have black members. We're just bands, guy. So just stop talking about it like that. And, you know, the experience that we've had. And it was a good chat, man. And so Doc and I are going to talk about that tomorrow. But I can't, you know. It
was a good experience, though, overall.
Oh, fantastic, man. Mark Martin had so much to say. And I thought it was brave of him to do that because, you know, Lamb of God's from Virginia. And we're not talking, we're like outside of Richmond, Virginia, which is rural Virginia, heart of the old Confederacy, you know, the South will rise again, Virginia. So he had a lot of key points to say and understood and opened his mind and also had a lot to share that I think is very poignant. And I think it's important that people continue to have these discussions and not shy away from them. Don't be bullied by the masses to say, oh my God, keep politics out of metal. There's nothing political here. We're just talking about how we interact with each other to, you know, to get to a more bellicose way of existence, to get to a place where we can just get back to having fun again and going to shows and not think, oh my God, well, that guy has a shirt on that I don't like. What's he saying with his shirt? Or what's he saying with his music? I don't know if I agree with this. And, you know, it's making me feel uncomfortable. Like, dude, just listen. Just keep your ears open and let's just get back to being human again, you know? So
what was the crux of all of it? You know, like, was there a moderator who was kind of
just there was a moderator, yeah. There was, I believe her name is Sophie K. She's from the UK. She's like a TV presenter, and I know she works with Loudwire, heavily involved in metal. So yeah, she was like the moderator and just asked a bunch of questions. And some of the things that she asked, I think she was looking for leading in because, you know, I grew up in England, so I know how like English people think about American racism. Like, oh my God, you're so racist in America. We don't have that here. And so I think a lot of what she was looking for were, what do you do when you see a Confederate flag at a show? You know, we're just like, it's a rebel flag. We get it. We understand. And Mark had a lot to say about it. He was just like, man, he's like, I come from a place where people hold on to that. And he's like, if it really offends someone and if it really does mean something to someone else and a greater portion of people, then just don't fuck with it, dude. You don't have to, you know, it doesn't matter that much, you know, to your culture, to your heritage, that you have to keep throwing this in people's faces. But a lot of us, we responded with, you know, how do you feel about it and stuff like that. I was like, well, that history, now that we talk about it, now that's at the forefront of the conversation, I get what they're trying to say, but where do I factor into that? You know, and that's where we talked about being a little bit more inclusive and being a little bit more accepting, because you have to think to yourself, like, where do I fit in the old Confederacy, or what that's supposed to mean to people? And so we got deep like that, man. And even like using the N-word in your music, or using it when you talk to each other. And Doc is like, he's like, well, I just say it because I don't give a shit. And people are like, you know.
That motherfucker said it all the time. We toured with them for 6 months. Dude, like, my God.
God forbid. God forbid.
They were like, it's okay if you say that. I'm like, I'm not gonna say it. I'll say wigger or something, okay? Like,
so yeah, exactly. So I was like, man, I grew up, you know, around, and I had worked with Randy on something for a month. I got on tour with Halo of Locusts, his old band. And he would just drop it all the time. And I was like, why do you keep saying that, fam? He was like, well, yo, God forbid. They were like, you can say it. So I was like, okay, whatever, man. I'm not gonna rain on your parade, bro. You want to drop N-bombs and you do you. But it was, you know, Derek had a very different idea about it, because Derek lives in Brazil now, but I think he grew up with two parents that were educators. So that always changes the way you look at things, especially. And again, that's
right. I think he's from the Midwest too, right? He's from like Cleveland or something.
Something like that. And it's like, that's why it's like we say we're not monolithic. We have, especially here in the United States, we come from all over this country. So Black people in New York think very differently than Black people in California. So, you know, just like, don't try and lump us all into one little thing, but when a Black guy commits a crime, we all have to bear the brunt of that. But when a Black man does something that's, you know, exponential or some sort of achievement, look what he did. You can do it too. It's like, no, dude, he just went and did something really cool, man. Like, just let him have his thing and leave the rest of us alone to live our lives, because that's all we are. We're just humans trying to live our life. So we, you know, the conversation kind of took turns, and, you know, there was a lot brought up about racism, but we kind of steered it away from that, because I think the conversation doesn't need to circumvent racism. It just needs to circumvent understanding. And although racism may be a part of that, and breaking and trying to get behind and try to get over people's hatred, it shouldn't dominate the conversation. It should just really be about how can we just get to a place where we can understand and just live with each other and get back to being human, instead of being, I'm looking at you because of the color of your skin, I'm looking at you because of what you're wearing. And how can it just be a little bit more accepting? And so it was dope, man. We got into some real deep shit, but at the same time, we also it was real lighthearted. There was nothing like, well, this band talks about that and we're shitting on each other's bands, or anyone's shitting on someone that said something that we don't agree with, which a lot of people, I think, because there's so much division in the country and the world right now, I think that everyone just kind of retreats into their little like echo chambers and just to spit back at other people. I mean, I can't wait to see what the live chat on like Facebook and stuff is going to be like tonight during this debate. Like, I can almost imagine it's going to be a fucking war zone.
It's going to be, yeah. And it's even more so because it's just like words, you know, like, you know, a big part of communication is, you know,
talking,
tone of voice and facial expression and, you know, mannerisms. And when you just strip it down to words on a screen, it's just like, it's just it's
insane.
ignorance.
And then everyone types so fast, so it's like you see one fucked up comment, and then you're like, oh, should I answer that? But then there's another 20 that come behind it, and you're like, oh my god, and you just get lost in it, you know, it get lost in the sauce. And so
I don't even. There's a part of me that wants to watch it, and there's a part of me that's just like, I just don't like, you know, I don't know if I need to see what's going on. Like, I never watch them anyway. Like, I never watch them anyway. Like, and now they're like, oh, you got to watch it. I don't. My dad's like my dad's all in for Biden and stuff, and I'm just like, I just don't know if I need to watch it, Dad. Like,
yeah, it's like, this is the most important election of your life, and I'm like, wow.
It is, but you know, like, I don't need to watch the debate. Like, number one, the first one, you know, maybe the last one. You know,
like the ultimate, exactly. But you know, I usually wait to like the next day. You'll watch a bit of like a snippet of it on, and you'll see from Fox to NBC what they point out and what the other person points out, and then from there you can like make your decision. Like, oh, it was a shit show. Okay, you know. But I'm interested, man, because these two is like someone says it's gonna be like grumpy old men. You know, like
they're so old. They're both so fucking old. It's just like, Jesus Christ, this is the best we got. Like, for fucking either side. Jesus Christ,
it's 1,000% not the best we have. But it's, you know, for some reason, we just want to put our faith into either or. But it's a shame.
Men in their mid-70s.
Yeah,
old white men in their mid-70s.
Old white men in the mid-70s. What do they really have to say that's going to affect what's really happening now? Yeah. You're right, man. Right.
I love my dad, but I don't want him to be president. You know what I mean? He's just like...
Dude, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were like, yo, we should probably bring back Jimmy Carter. You know, he's 96 now, right? So
I know, right?
He's like, he'll be 100 at the end of his term. He's perfect for it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, dude, it's wild out here, man. And since we've spoken, the last time we spoke, so much has happened. The Breonna Taylor situation, the you know, more of more protest,
Jacob
more
Blake, yeah.
Jacob
Yeah.
Blake happened,
Yeah.
situations like that. So, the Kenosha thing with Kyle Rittenhouse,
Yes. Yes.
again, uh, in that situation, everyone's like, he's self-defense, and some people, he shouldn't have been there. But no one's stopping to think that a 17-year-old kid made it up in his mind that I'm going to go to a protest with a fucking rifle. Like, are we not looking at the cultural disconnect here? Are we not looking
across
at
state lines
across state
with an
lines? Are
assault
we not,
rifle that he
dude?
wasn't old enough to own? You know?
Exactly. Like, we're not thinking about, dude, that's the youth. Those are our kids. These are, now that I'm in like my upper 30s, and I have one kid and I'm about to have another kid. Now I'm starting to look at things a lot differently, which is ultimately, that's how life is when you mature and you
Right.
go through certain experiences. And so I'm looking at it like, this is a child, man. Like, he shouldn't have been there. These militia
No,
dudes, like, what are you doing?
he's a year older than my oldest. You know, it's
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
crazy.
And yeah, you look at your 16-year-old kid, and you're like, you're not going to a protest with an AR,
Yeah.
dude.
Never. Like,
You know,
the
you
fuck
go to a
his
protest,
mom drove him. His mom
yeah,
drove him there
dude. And
with
she
their
was
own
at
rifle. It's like
she
fucking
was at like a GOP kind of event and got a standing ovation. Like, that's not what we should be telling. We should be telling parents of 17-year-olds now. We should be getting these kids
yeah.
ready for life, getting them ready for their higher education or getting into the workplace, not going to protest to shoot people. And then the dude on the other side that was in his face screaming, shoot me, nigga, like a white guy. I was like, we had 4 people shot and involved in a shooting at a BLM protest. All were white, and
Right.
it was in a pocket of violence and a pocket of chaos within the greater issue. So what does that really have to do with my Black life? Or what does that have to do with what we're really trying to strive for here? So we've lost the plot a little bit everywhere. And I think it's important that we try to get back on track. And I think a lot of that, with live music not happening and with, basically just being flooded, the media just being flooded with all of this stuff that's happening right now, and we're not getting to see, we're not watching sports, we're not getting back to the things that kind of give us that outlet. We're basically, it's like the purge out there. Like, election night's going to be lit if we've got what's happening in Kenosha and stuff like that, and people just kind of making a big hoorah about stuff like that. We're not getting back to what really makes us happy. We're not getting back to the things that we need to continue. Like, again, the whole conversation surrounding that incident should not be about, was it self-defense or not? It should be about, there was a kid that went out there with a gun. And it's nothing we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And that even that Jacob Blake didn't have a knife, like that was, we now know that, which I thought that right when I watched it, because the one cop screamed it before he even opened the door. He's got a knife. And I was like, how do you know? I was like, how the fuck do you know if he's got a knife?
Your back's towards him. But, I thought there, I was like, with that situation, we know how cops, we know, and they've had, in that particular city, apparently, they've had they're like one of the worst in that region of the world for police brutality and situations. So they knew for a fact that he knew for a fact that these cops are pretty trigger happy in this state. I wouldn't have turned my back towards him. Whatever you had to do, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, yo, you should just comply. I'm just like, yo, protect your life, man. Especially because his kids were in the car. So I'm like, damn, man, don't give them any cause to do what we know they want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's fucked up, man. And when you talk about that and you bring it up, it's no, bro, law and order. What? what are you, law and order? That's a human life right there, my guy. Cops shouldn't be killing people. The cops should not be killing citizens. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, even if he had a knife.
You should.
Even if he had a knife.
Exactly.
You shouldn't be killing him.
You should not be.
Even if he's walking away from you, you can't kill him.
Yeah, you should not be killing him. Dude, there was a situation that happened in God, I forget where it had happened, and I was watching it on somebody's Instagram story, and it was two cops like beating the shit out of some dude, and it was like, if you guys are trained to de-escalate, why do you have to get into to fights with people? Why is it two of you on one person? Aren't you supposed to be trained, or what do? They just give you a gun and a badge and just say get to work? You know, it's like I don't get it. And then when you talk about maybe they need more training, maybe we need to allocate funds to, giving these guys the proper resources that they need, because I don't think everyone should be on the street with a gun ready to go. Maybe there should be one officer without one. It's not, we don't live in the universe of RoboCop. You're not getting into armed standoffs on every street corner. You're dealing with people that want to get on with their lives. Okay, someone smokes a bit of weed, or someone's got a little bit of coke on them, or something like that. It doesn't. You're not at war with the citizenry. So why is it taking all of this force? Why does it take all this force? Why does it take all of this, all of this energy to subdue one person or to police an area?
I mean, I think the police would. I think I've got some people who I know who are on the police, and a lot of them say. And you'll hear, police chiefs and all of them say, we're fucking overwhelmed. We're just overworked. We're overwhelmed. We're dealing with so much shit 24 hours a day. And tons of it's, a lot of it's just homeless people being fucking crazy, or, a mental health issue, or some, stuff that's got nothing to do with policing or stopping crime, but is, it's their response. It's a responsibility they shouldn't have. Like it's
1,000%.
some other thing, some other, I don't know whatever you want to call it.
Like an agency or something.
Agency.
Exactly.
There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Shit like that.
Should be there. Yeah, 1,000%.
I know it, and they're fucking drained. They're fucking strained. They're stressed. It's,
Dude, that's what I say. Like
suicide rates for police are fucking unbelievably high because of all that shit, And
1,000. Yes, exactly, man.
To me, that's something that needs to, a lot of people don't understand that when people say defund the police, that is what it means. It means allocating money to give them, give another agency resources to help them.
Exactly.
So it takes more shit off their plate.
All they hear is you don't want cops because you want craziness.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, all the bros and like kids that I grew up with in the hardcore scene that did evil shit. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about, you're a criminal. Dude, you're not you're not a corner kid. You're a criminal, and you've done criminal shit. And now they're all just like, law and order, bro, law and order.
And you're like, wait, what?
What? What? Just 10 years ago, you were about anarchy. Like,
you were like, remember when we were in the Bronx and you were doing all that crazy shit in the Bronx?
Exactly.
Because we were living in the Bronx.
Exactly. Like, we were in the streets, fam, doing like wild shit, bro. Like, now, but all of a sudden everyone's just law and order, and which to me is just another way to seep dictatorial instincts and fascism and totalitarianism into American politics. But again, that's a personal. That's a personal.
It's interesting to me because I read up in some of your history, and I think that you have, in not in similar ways, but for me, I'm adopted. I don't know. I actually just did a DNA test about, a year or two ago. My kids got me a DNA test for Christmas, and they're like, or my birthday.
I didn't know you were adopted, though, man. You didn't say that. And
I finally found out. I thought for some reason maybe I did, but no. I finally found out what I am after being told something else throughout my whole life, which I never really believed because it was so random. Like, my mom is Mexican and my dad's Irish, so they went to the adoption agency and said, "Hey, can we have an Irish Mexican baby?" Because that's so common in California. It's just like the most random combination ever in California. And they're like, "Yeah, here you go." We just we're like, "Oh," and just whatever. So and I end up being something. But I think that when you, I wasn't really raised with a lot of religion in my life. Mm-hmm. My dad's twin brother joined a cult when I was like 8 years old, like a straight up religious cult, and we tried to get him out of there, and we actually went up to Oregon, like stayed on their commune for a week to try and like get him out, and we didn't. And then him and my dad didn't speak to each other for quite a few decades.
What was the
And
name of the
pretty
cult?
much through I can't remember. I mean, it wasn't like a famous cult. It was just
Right.
like some dude, and but it was a cult, like the
Yeah.
people all tithed their money to him, and
To him. Yeah,
like
yeah.
whatever.
For sure.
And and it was hard. It was one of the hardest things that my dad ever dealt with. And
Yeah, that's his twin brother. There's a connection there.
yeah, I mean, a lot of their life lived together.
Mhm.
And I think when, for me, I always had this disconnect from religion because of that. And I not knowing like what I was, like, hey, so does your family have a history of cancer? I don't know, like just
Right.
not
Yeah,
knowing.
yeah, of course, of course. That's the little things in life that some people that can take for granted because you don't know. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And you just like and in some ways I used to, when I was a kid, I didn't like that. Like I wanted to know, and there's a part of me that just wanted to like, I felt like I wasn't normal, but in other
Yeah.
ways, like growing up and now that I'm an adult man and have kids of my own, it's like I'm almost glad that I had that separation, and that, I didn't form my identity around religion. I didn't form
Right,
my identity
right.
around my race. I didn't form my,
Right.
around my nationality. I didn't form this
Right.
identity around any of that shit. Like
Yeah.
I just formed my identity around what I am and what I enjoyed and my friends and like the culture that I was attracted to, which was skate culture and metal and hip hop culture.
Yeah.
And I think looking at you, you had, you've got a kind of a crazy story. Like you were raised in so many different, regions of the world, raised in the Bronx, which is,
Yeah.
one of the harshest areas of
Yeah,
New York City.
it can be
and
hell on
the
earth.
United States.
Yeah, it can be
and the
hell on
United
earth at
States.
times. Yeah.
But then you're raised in England, you're raised in Africa,
Mhm.
like, I mean, I just think, in so many ways, I think traveling, in some ways you don't have, like you can separate yourself from whatever identity you formed in any of those countries as well, because it's
very
like,
much so. Yeah, man. Dude, that's.
I mean, talk about
I
that.
see
'Cause
I see where you're going with that, and that's cool. That's really cool. No one's really everyone just says, "Oh, that gives you a unique perspective on life." But I can see the parallels that you're making here, and that's really cool, man. And I appreciate that about you, man. People don't think like that these days. But
what was that? Tell me about some of that. Like you moved to England first, is that right?
yes. So my dad is from Jamaica, and his family, as many Jamaicans do, migrate to the UK. And so it was kind of like, oh well, my mom's ideology behind all of that was, I don't want to. It's very hard to raise a black man in the United States. That was her thing, and she had two girls, and my dad was out doing what men do. He sold drugs. He played with guns. He played that life. You know what I'm saying? That's what 1980s Bronx was like. Especially for a Jamaican immigrant coming from Kingston, Jamaica, surrounded by, coming from the ghetto, surrounded by violence, surrounded by drugs.
Yeah, Kingston was fucking wild back then.
Exactly. So it was kind of like, this is your only way out. You go to what they call foreign. So my mom, was like, I can't raise this kid in this environment. The camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back was, I had gone to into the trap house where my dad and his boys kept a lot of their stuff. And hey, I'd gone with them, and I might have been about 4 or 5 years old, because we had already traveled to Jamaica and England before that for holiday, but we hadn't made a move, or I hadn't made a move. So I came back and I told my mom that I saw a pile of money, a pile of drugs, and a gun. And she was like, okay, buddy, you're done. Yeah. Wow. So she was like, okay, you're finished. Here
That's
you
a
go.
hell of a sight to see at 5 years old.
Yeah, exactly. So I went and stayed with my aunt, who, had found a really nice situation. So she was in London, and I had stayed with her. And then, so I was traveling back and forth between the States and London. And it was kind of like, go school here, come holidays here. Go to school here, go to holidays there. But it kept me busy, and it kept me active, and it kept me out away from the streets. It kept me away from the violence that surrounded my dad's life. You know, my dad was a loving dude, a very good man, but he was also a criminal. So with that comes, you know, a certain degree of unsafety. You know what I'm saying? It's just not safe sometimes. But nothing against my dad, because I love him to death. He just passed this March. But it was kind of like, yo, we got to get this kid out of this situation. And so that evolved into me going to this like prep school in upstate New York that was attached to a church that my mom was heavily invested into, because my mom's always been heavily invested into religion. So it's always been Christianity or Islam. In Africa, it was Islam.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, exactly. My
like
grandmother's a Muslim.
The polar ends of it, yeah.
Yes, man. Crazy. My grandmother is part of the Nation of Islam, Farrakhan's Muslims, you know, Malcolm X. My mother actually grew up and was raised roughly like 2 to 3 doors down from Malcolm X in Queens. So they were involved. Yeah, they were involved in the Nation. Yeah. Wow. She was heavily involved in the Nation growing up. That's intense. Man. Yeah, so I was like Fruit of Islam, you know, so when I was home, I was doing all that. I was at the mosque, but then my mom was going to church on Sunday. So it was wild. Saturday, I was in the mosque drilling and, you know, saying rakats and, you know, fasting. And then on Sunday, we were in church getting Bible bashed. And the Lord's going to kill you.
Christianity?
You know,
in a Christian church?
Yeah, in a Christian church. So mosque on Saturday, church on... Yeah, oh, dude, wild.
That's why I've never heard anything like that. That's insane.
Yes, man. So you'd go to Harlem where you would drill with the Nation of Islam, and you would call the Fruit of Islam. So if you ever see a video with Minister Farrakhan, if you ever see anything with Farrakhan,
I've watched and listened, and you know.
Yeah, so the guys around him are FOI. They're called the Fruit of Islam. So I was training with them on a Saturday to fulfill like what my grandmother wanted and her kind of vision for who I could be. And then on Sunday, it was church with my mom. And then I went to boarding school. So in boarding school, it were Catholic boarding schools. So on Sundays while in school, you're in Catholic church. So you know, so I'm getting all of this filtered into me all before the age of 12.
You're getting the white devil from the Farrakhan side.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
From the other side, you're getting, you know, pretty much Jesus anybody Christ. Other than a Christian is the devil.
is evil. So if you don't accept Jesus Christ, you're going to hell. And then on the other side, the white man is the devil, and everything that the white man is giving you is evil, and the white man's poisoning you, and you are God. Wow. You are God on earth. You are the black man, so therefore you are God. You know, it's intense, man. And then so my mom got this idea. She goes, "I'm sending you to Ghana." Like one day she just comes up, she goes, my friends, it wasn't even like we talked about it. She didn't sit me down and say, Akil, I have this great idea. How would you like to go to school in Africa? No, it was like, oh, by the way, in like 3 months, you're going to school in Africa. What?
Like, wait, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
Like, you know what I mean? So, but you know, while I was there, so I was in Ghana. So in 1996,
Ghana,
I was 12.
My geography of Africa is terrible. Where is Ghana in
Ghana is on where that like kind of hump is, not the Horn. It's on the Gold Coast. So like Africa, it's in West Africa, but it's on the coast. It's called the Gold Coast. So it's right next to Nigeria, right when Africa kind of does like that. Ghana's one of those countries.
Oh, right. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Atlantic Ocean, you know, not too far from former British colonies. So it's an Anglophone, but it's surrounded by Cote d'Ivoire, which is the Ivory Coast, as well as Benin and Togo. And then to the north is Burkina Faso, which are all Francophones. So there's about 46 different dialects. Francophones, former French colonies.
Oh, gotcha.
And Ghana is a British colony, so it's surrounded by French-speaking countries, and so there's a mix of French-speaking tribes as well as English-speaking tribes, and then you have 46 different native languages and dialects within the country. So it's a fantastic place to live, you know. But while I was there, you know, I was the typical Western kid. I don't want to go to fucking Africa. Like, what am I doing in Africa? I want Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. I want to play football. I want to watch.
How old are you at this point?
I was 12. I was 12.
Yeah.
And just thrust into this, man, into this old British colonial system of still getting my ass. Well, I was going to boarding school before then, so I was getting my ass beat in school. So that was no different. Like, okay, I do something wrong, I'm getting punished for it. So there was no difference there.
By the teachers?
By teachers, yeah. But I've gone to a more
and what is punishment? What is punishment? Like the board, like on your butt or something?
Yeah, you get caned, man. They'll cane you. You'll get fucking you get your ass beat. You know what I mean? It's not typical public school. My first experience with like American public schools was in high school. I was already 16, 17 by then. So that was like a culture shock and a half. Like that, of all the things I did in my life, that was the culture shock for me. That was like, whoa, this is like what it is on TV, you know, like jocks and cheerleaders and bullies and I can just leave when I want. Wait, I can wear what I want. You know, like, oh, I went crazy, and then I become. When you're in Ghana,
you got to wear a uniform.
Everything's very regimented. Uniform, you know, inspections. You know, it's kind of it's a boarding school. It's not military school, but it's a boarding school. But it has.
So you're living in a group, like you're living with a group of guys.
Yeah, and a
dormitory.
Compound,
okay, I got you.
We were in the middle of a forest, so Achimota Forest is in the middle of Accra, which is the capital of Ghana. And the good thing, there are parallels between living in Ghana and British life because it's an old British colony. So I wasn't, you know, the schooling wasn't different from what was in London. The schooling, the people that taught were mainly educated in England or educated in Ghana in the old British system. So there wasn't, you know, I wasn't out of place completely. But the things that were shocking there a little bit were this school was kind of one of these old famous schools. So the people that you went to school with were like chiefs and princes of tribes and dignitaries' kids and foreign dignitaries' kids. And there were Robert Mugabe, who was the leader of Zimbabwe, you know, one of the most famous African dictators. He went to school there, you know, so there was a bit of pressure on there. Like, this is Achimota. It was that kind of environment. You know, you stand up for your school, and, you know, Motown men don't act this way. Achimota men don't act that way. That kind of shit, you know, kind of like the collegiate lifestyle here in the States. So there was a lot of that, man. And so, you know, I was just kind of like running around, you know, playing football, soccer, just, you know, I had a skateboard, so I was like a skater kid in this kind of like environment. So it was really weird. And I looked out at first, I was like, this sucks. You know, I was like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, I should be, you know, running around in the street with the homies back home. You know what I mean? I don't want to be here. But I look back on it now and I'm like, thank my mom for having the foresight to be in and having the fortitude to say that I'm going to send my only son. She had 2 other daughters, but I'm going to send my only son halfway across the world and just, you know, I had people that looked after me. Like, there was a family that I stayed with, and they would come on Sundays to visit me, bring me food, bring me provisions, you know, get me new uniforms, all that kind of shit. But for the most part, I was there by myself. And so I learned, man. And, you know, that kind of helped shape the person that I am. And like you said, I'm able to I can look on the outside of seeing what's happening here in the States and kind of give it a perspective and just say, I'm not completely consumed with the culture of what we are here in the United States. I can take a step back and look in and say, well, I see what that person's saying. I see what this person's saying, and I can kind of give it an objective view. I don't think it gives me some sort of edge over the competition, but I just think it gives me another perspective. And like you said, with your life, like, you're able to look at things differently. You're able to see things and just be like, hey, I'm Robb Flynn. I'm not this guy. I'm not that guy. You know, I'm not dedicated to this one particular ideology. I didn't grow up with that. But so I can look at things from the outside and just kind of give it my own fresh perspective. And it's hard for people to do that because when, you know, especially now, we're seeing it because we thought, like, oh, dude, you know, we're just we're just people, you know, we live our lives and we go about our daily activities, just doing what we do. But once we get into groups, like George Carlin said, humans are beautiful when they're by themselves, but when you get into groups, then they're the fucking dumbest thing in the world, you know? So it's like, once you get around the groups that you're familiar with, then you start to see oh, well, I don't like what you're saying, and I don't like what this guy's saying. So I was able to see a lot of that, man. And musically, that helped shape me a lot, because in London, you're around reggae, ska, punk, you know, the old skinhead stuff, man, like old, like, you know, the Interrupters, that's a new band, but like The Business and, you know, the Specials, and you grow up with that. And my dad was in reggae music, so I was around a lot of that, man. I was around Buju Banton and Sizzla and all these reggae artists growing up, because, you know, like most people that work in drugs, hey, let's work in music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so he had a promotional company, and he would do shows, and he had a few artists that he worked with. And so, man, we I had a lot that was filtered into me from the outside, but I also have maintained my own sort of identity through all of that, and I think it's helped. And that's one thing that is very evident in Fire from the Gods. It's like you said, it's all over the place, but it's a collective sound, and you know, and that's one thing we strive for. Like, I know when it's a Machine Head song, because I know your voice, you know, I know when it's a Tool song, I know when it's Deftones. In the hodgepodge of bands out there, sometimes we can't discern, like, you know, that band just sounds like the next. I don't know who that is. So we've always said, despite our differences and despite where we come from, we want to still have this collective sound and have it be known like that. Oh, that's Fire from the Gods. Whether it's a song like the Voiceless, which has got the pop punk style, or it's a song like Excuse Me, which is like more rap heavy and hip hop. It's about, at least we know it's a Fire from the Gods song. And so I think it's a reflection of who I am and why it's had whatever margin of success that it's had. I think it connects, and people see that it's real. And that's the most important thing that I've tried to portray in that, is like, take the realness that I've learned from life and the things that I've been through, the things that I've seen, and just try and filter that through music. And I know it gets heavy at times, because it's like, it takes a lot to think about. And sometimes some bands can just get on, you know, on their instruments and just write a song, and, you know, like Shinedown, you know, like they just write these great rock songs, but you don't really like, what are they talking about? You know, I don't know what he's talking about, but they write these phenomenal songs. Whereas Fire from the Gods, it's like, it's a thinking man's game. Like, what's he saying there? You know, and that's because I just think a lot. So, and it's just a reflection of my mind.
You come back to America when you're what, 16?
16, yeah.
And where do you go to school at?
So I went to school back in the Bronx.
Okay, go back in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Where do girls come into it? Where does girls come? Like, girls come into it when you're in Africa or in England, like America?
Yeah, I mean, yo, dude. So yeah, that's a good question. So while I was in school, I was always like doing like wild shit, you know, like messing around, because it was a co-ed boarding school. So you can imagine.
Okay. I was wondering, like, because sometimes those boarding schools are like just all you know, they're like
yeah. No, it was co-ed. So the girls' dormitory was like you could throw a stone to the girls' dormitory. So you can imagine what kids were getting up to. And then once I got back to the States, though, it was just like, whoa, this is America. Y2K. So it was 2000. So everyone was running around like with the, you know, drum and bass was still real heavy. And, you know, so I started getting into like things like that. And I started seeing that. And, you know, now at 16, you think you're a man, you know, so I'm going out to nightclubs, and my buddy took me to a show, and he's like, yo, check it out. There's this band called Candiria. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I'm like, so what? Good. And then he goes, yo, have you ever heard Slayer? And I'm like, what? You know, I was like, I listened to punk music. So I think that kind of, you know, it's kind of my gateway drug, you know, like Metallica wasn't my way into heavy music. Like a lot of people, you know, like, oh, you listen to Metallica, and then all of a sudden it opens up this world of guitars and drums and heavy music. So for me, it was just like, oh, here's Meshuggah. And I was like, holy shit.
Oh, crazy.
You know, the first time I heard
that's record, a crazy, I mean, that's some pretty technical stuff. Candiria and Meshuggah is like super, you know, musicianship insanity, you know?
Very much so. And so, dude, like, I was going to shows, man, and just like, you know, just fucking around, smoking weed, messing around with girls and stuff like that. And it just kind of developed into this like, oh yeah, that's what I'm doing with my life. I want to be in I want to be in a band. You know what I'm saying? So
nice.
I never
Wow,
kind of
crazy.
like deterred from that because I just thought it was like such a cool, it was always about being free because I had been so regimented my whole life in boarding schools and, I have to keep up appearances and,
Right.
that's not how you're supposed to act. And a man of God doesn't behave this way, all that kind of shit, So you get that filtered into you, it starts to develop who you are, and so you start to think like, I can't act that way. But then I saw a mosh pit and I was like, oh, this is chaos. I love it.
Right.
So it just kind of became this second nature identity for me. And it just stuck with me.
Did you start a band right then? Did you start a band right then?
I did, man. I started a band, bro. The first band we were doing System of a Down covers. And then
nice.
And then I joined this band called
Love System.
Yeah, oh yeah, bro. We were doing
you're doing chop suey
and fucking
aerials and
sugar.
Sugar,
fucking,
yeah.
What's the name? God, what was the name of that song? Wow, I can't believe I've drawn a blank. But yeah, we were doing a bunch of that, and then I joined a band called Tonk Pills, which was Slipknot backwards, and we were doing Slipknot covers. yeah. So, dude,
that's funny.
So we were playing shows in New York. We were doing the CBGBs. CBGBs
doing Slipknot covers.
Doing Slipknot covers. They would do this audition.
Like the band, it was just Slipknot songs. That's all you guys did.
Just Slipknot songs. It was 4 guys. We had a really good drummer, and the guitar player was like this kid, just typical, just weed smoking guitar player that was just super good that everybody wanted to have in this band because this kid was like, he could shred, he could play master.
What was the song that brought the house down in the Slipknot band?
Dude, Surfacing for sure, bro.
Surfacing, okay.
Surfacing, that was it, dude. And fuck it all, fuck this one. Everyone would just go
fuck everything.
And then I was doing Rage covers because I had learned about Rage Against the Machine, and I was like, oh, these brothers are saying everything that I think, and I was reading books about anarchy and communism and socialism, and reading up on Mao and reading up on, I was always into history, and being that I was able to see a lot of the world, I saw what those systems of government were, and I was getting taught that because you don't get taught that in the States. Growing up, you get taught that in boarding school in Africa. You better be damn sure you're going to know about systems of government and religions and
oh wow, crazy.
There's a cultural studies course that we took, and cultural studies was basically you would learn all the 7 prayers and the 7 pillars of Islam. You learn about the creation story. You learn about where it led to and how it applied to different philosophies of government. And so that really stuck with me, and I kept the textbooks, and I would read the textbooks still all the way up until like I went to college, and so dude, I took all that, and once I like heard Rage Against the Machine, I was like, oh, this is so sick, dude. You know what I mean? This is revolutionary, brothers rapping. You know what I mean? Like it blew my mind.
Like exactly, hard.
Just straight up bars upon bars, hard line after hard line, like
hard line after hard line.
I was like, yeah, this is it,
that
man.
Five-sided fist of gone, like five-sided fist of gone. I was like, that's such a good. That's not even a fucking word, and it just sounds so hard.
Right. It just goes so hard, dude. So I just became really attracted to that message and that philosophy, and it blew me away, man. And it kind of just was like, yo, this is what I want to do. This is who I want to be. This is what I want to fuck with. This is music. This is life. And my mom, she was like, what is that? That's what white kids listen to. What are you gonna do? She was freaking out, but at the same time, she was also twisting my hair so I could giving me my dreads. My first time I had locks. She was putting dye in my hair for my Liberty spike. So at the same time, she was complicit in my transformation into a rocket. Excuse me, Rob, I'm gonna blow my nose, man. My fucking allergies going off. Sorry, mate.
No problem.
Apologies. But so then, man, I just, after all of that, and
where did the
coming,
singing come from though? Because like that's all like heavy vocal stuff and rapping
oh
and
yeah,
like,
yeah,
your voice is really like it's such a, one of the things that drives me crazy about like modern kind of metal bands or whatever is that when
hmm,
the singing comes in, it's so whiny and it's
oh
got that
yeah,
like Blink 182 thing. I'm like, oh, don't do that.
dude. I
Don't
blame it
just
on
don't
those.
do
I
that.
blame it on
Your
those
voice
emo
is so
bands, man.
full, dude. It's like, but it's really full. It's like it's rich. It's like that's that. Where did that come
Well,
from?
when you listen to you listen to Fear Factory, you listen the way you did like clean vocals, and it's like the way Lejeune sang, and it's like, yeah, that's a guy, that's a man,
Right.
that's a dude
Yes.
saying something. There's
Yes.
real emotion behind that. But when you're just like, oh my God, she broke my heart, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't feel
Yes.
that, dude. It's not real to me, but I get the appeal. I
Yeah.
understood the appeal because I loved bands like Poison the Well. I loved some of
Yeah.
the emo stuff out there, like Law
Yeah, I
Dispute. I
did.
was
I
never,
mean, to me, like, yeah, some of that early, like Thursday and stuff, to me was more like it
yeah,
wasn't whiny. It was like, like the dude was having a nervous breakdown. That's what was cool about it to me.
yeah, yeah.
Like it was
I listen, yeah,
frantic.
man. Exactly, exactly. That's a good way to put it. It was like frantic, and it was, but again, it was real emotion. It was
Yeah,
something that was real, as opposed to auto-tuned,
right.
squeaky, vocals that are
Yes.
just supposed to appeal to one type of listener. Like that doesn't do anything for me. So, but I loved Maynard. I loved the way Corey sang when he actually sang, instead of
Yeah.
just the screaming bits and the harsh rapping stuff. So I thought, and I was like, I always wanted to integrate it into music, but I kept getting caught up in this like heavy bands with no clean vocals, like with guys that are like, no, we don't fuck with clean vocals here, no clean singing, stuff like
Right.
that. And I was just in deathcore bands, right around the time. And then Lamb of God was like huge, and Randy wasn't singing at all, So people were like, you
Right.
can do this without singing. As I Lay Dying, their first few records were just straight up brutal screaming, and you can do this without singing. But I always said, there's a way to make this work. And I'm going to make it work no matter what. But the situations never provided for it. And then joining Fire from the Gods, it was like, okay, just go with it. We had no idea what we were going to do. They had a rap element in the band before with the former vocalist.
They had a rapper. They had a
They had a
rapper.
rapper. Yeah, he was a rapper. And so then they tried to get the guy to sing, and then it just came off sounding like, scene kid stuff, because that's what they knew to write at the time. But I was like, man, there's a way to do this and integrate it,
How do you
man.
get in touch with that? You're still in the Bronx when all this is going down?
I was living in Brooklyn, because my dad
Yeah,
had
or
lived in
still
Brooklyn.
in New York
And
though.
yeah, I was still in New
Still in New
York. I
York
was
though.
still in New York City.
Yeah.
And
How do you get hooked up with some dudes from Texas?
I was in a band called Ashes Within, which was like kind of a Meshuggah kind of gent, as they call it, like a gent band, like
Yep.
that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
but super heavy deathcore stuff. And there was a battle of the bands. And the battle of the bands that was through this program called Headbang for the Highway, which was run by Sumerian Records, actually.
Oh,
They
okay.
had a full-on like kind of national battle of the bands in various
Oh
regions.
shit. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, dude. So the guy that ran it was
Like
actually a
online
dude.
or something? Like how did
No,
that?
man, it was basically reaching out to promoters and pay to play stuff, sell tickets, bring your friends in. Two guys
Right.
from the label would tour the country, and they'd see your band, and they'd pick your band to win. So there was a round
Huh.
one, a round two, and in the final, you go and play a show at the Whiskey A Go Go for dudes from Agency Group. There was guys from Media Scare Records were there. Sumerian was there, obviously. Even some dudes from Rise
Wow.
were there. So I played a show, and Ash Avildsen, who runs Sumerian Records, who basically ran the whole program, who owned the program, a gentleman by the name of David Dickens ran the program. They were like, this band's dope, Ashes Within. And so they picked us to win. And when you win, you were supposed to get a deal, and Sumerian was going to put out a record. Sumerian didn't really like Ashes Within. They were just like, oh, that dude AJ is great. So for a while, for about a year, he kept he's like, oh, I got vocalists leaving bands. Do you want to try out? Like the Veil Maya situation happened, and he was like, oh, the dude from Veil Maya's leaving. Do you want to try out? And then Dave was working with the band from Texas who had one called Fire from the Gods. And he's like, there's a lot of turmoil in this band. They're good dudes. They did basically the same thing you've done.
They had also won the Battle of the Bands thing.
They had won, yes, exactly. But they went to the final and didn't win. And the vocalists, there was a lot of turmoil amongst them and the vocalists. And they were like typical. They were just like me. They were like, yo, we'll get into a van and we'll tour and we'll try to make this thing work. But the vocalist, you know, I don't know if he was really, if he had been exposed to that. He was just a rapper that liked heavy music and thought like, oh, I can apply rap vocals and screaming to this music. And it worked out. But that's where it working out ended. Because when it was like, oh, we're going to have to get into a van and play for $100 a night, he was like, no way. You know? Like, right. He was like, no, I'm not.
He's like, what? I'm not going to be in a mansion in a Lambo? Like, no.
Exactly. But I'd already been exposed to that and knew what that looked like. So I wasn't afraid of it. And I was like, and Dave was like, dude, there's this band in Texas that I think you'd be perfect for. I want you to help them write. Because the kid really can't scream and he overcompensates, but you are a good like metal vocalist. Because I'd been doing it by that point I had been doing it for like 5-10 years, like just being in different bands and, you know, playing the shows, playing the different regions, doing the regional stuff all over the United States. And he was like, dude, I think this band will be perfect. So I came to Austin from Brooklyn, flew down. This is in 2014. I flew down from Brooklyn and met the guys, stayed in Austin for the weekend, learned the songs, and we jammed. And they were like, dude, you want to be in the band? I was like, sure. Because I wanted out of New York. And two, I was like, I like your music. And at least it's a lot different from what I was doing in other bands because you guys want to incorporate clean vocals. But it didn't click right off the bat. I mean, I still struggled to find my voice and to find how I could apply this. And working with David Bendeth is where it kind of clicked. And, you know, as much as he pushed and almost at times degraded me, it was kind of like, you're going to have to learn this or not. If you really want to do this, you're going to have to learn it. And so within like a week, 2 weeks, I was like, okay, just clicked, go into the studio every day, singing, writing, singing. And some of that stuff like in transmission and stuff like that, like I wasn't into it. I was like, nah, dude, we're a metal band, dude. We got to be like screaming here or rapping here. And they're like, no, dude, listen, you can sing. You just have to learn how to apply it. And so it just over time. And then now it's just become a staple. And you can see we've got songs like Right Now and Make You Feel It that are just all
all singing.
You know, and
Right Now it's like, awesome. Right Now
it's just thank you, man, and it's just become second nature, bro. And it's like I want to carry on and continue with that, and create this idea, this non-biased idea that, you know, it doesn't have to be super metal in order to be a heavy song. You know, we can go back to the Ozfest days where it was just multi-genre bands, and it wasn't like, we need a festival just dedicated to death metal. We need a festival that's just dedicated to Warped Tour sounding bands. We can do this thing again where I like Fear Factory, but I also like Type O, you know, which that's kind of close, but still. But, you know, or I like Sepultura and Soulfly, but I can also get down on Thursday. You know what I'm saying? We need to get back to that. And I figured that Fire from the Gods and what we're doing could kind of bridge that again, could kind of recreate that. But, you know, articles come up and they go, is this the reincarnation of new metal? Is this the new wave of rap metal? You know, and shit
it doesn't sound like new. I mean, it doesn't sound like new metal, you know, like it's so different.
There might be elements, but it's not new metal. You know, there's elements of it, but you know, so it's like, we're a rock band, man. You know, like don't put us into a genre. Don't pigeonhole us. You know, don't make it so that we have to conform to your ideas.
Yeah, I mean, a song like In the Blue. Into the Blue, yeah, that's fucking sick, dude. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but that was our kind of like, that was our little ode to Killswitch, you know. It's like 3-4, and that's like the only song that we have in that time, that timing. And so I was like, yeah, man, and it sounds, you know, it's got a little bit of Adam D vibes in there with the guitar work, and that's.
I don't hear that.
That's
that,
rich.
Like, I mean,
But
I just thought it was
that's Rich's interpretation of his love for Kill Switch, you know, and then I have to just come up with an idea on how would I apply it to it, you know. So there's a heavy influence on the people that we grew up listening to on the band, but I think we've really kind of found our own lane and said this is where we want to be. Absolutely, and that's what makes bands. That's what I think makes the greats, you know, like. You know it's a Deftones song, you know it's a Korn song, you know it's Machine Head, dude. You knew when it was Pantera. They just stayed in their lane and they weren't trying to.
Hey, listen, if my wife likes it, you're onto something because
yeah, dude. Hey,
it's seriously like the first rock band that she's given two shits about in 5 years.
That's not the first time I've heard that, man, and I love it, man, because it's like that's what I want. I want people like kids from the Bronx that grew up listening to hip hop to listen and be like, yo, I could fuck with that. I want backpack rap kids to be like, yo, okay, the kid's got some bars, you know what I mean? I'm not like the nastiest rapper out there, but there's some flavor to it, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, for sure.
So we're just trying to do that, man, and but at the same time spread this message of hope, spread this message of overcoming adversity. It's an underdog story. Although I've had this like really incredible life that some people would say would be envious of, it's still I still came from very humble beginnings, like everything I did in my life, it wasn't like because we had that sort of privilege or luxury to do that. It was like, it took a lot to make that stuff happen. It took a lot of sacrifice. You know what I mean? My dad, he sold drugs, but a lot of that went into my tuition. My mom, and he had 10 other kids. So I wasn't the only kid that demanded my dad's attention. And we're all very close, which is a feat in itself. But totally. A lot of a lot of sacrifice went into helping me be who I am. And I just want to give back through my music. And so when it reaches people and people say, dude, I don't listen to the metal, but I like your band, it's more, it's very rewarding in that sense. It's extremely rewarding and lets me know that the sacrifice and the work that went into it, it's fucking worth it.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That was killer. That was killer. Right. You were on a tear there right there at the end. I was just letting you go. That was good shit.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, I do that, man. It's just it's you want to get it all in and you just want to say, and especially I love to talk, so you'll never not meet me on a day when I don't have anything to say. You feel me?
AJ, thank you so much for being on here, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, bro. Dude, I've always, like I said in the last call, dude, I've really respected your music, dude. And everything, the fact that you're still like such a still so strongly and popular band is awesome. It's a testament to the fact that you did good shit from the beginning and you never wavered. And I respect that about you, dude. And I know I read that interview when you said something that Phil had said he hated the N-word time in your band. And I was like, what are you talking about? I guess you were cornrowing your hair, the track suits and all that. I paid attention to that stuff, man. That's the kind of stuff that shaped and created the person that I am. And people, we don't get to have that interaction so much with the people. For the guys that you looked up to say, I fuck with your music, it means a lot. And it's heavy that you did this, man. So I appreciate you.
Right on. No, I'm stoked, man. My wife's going to probably want to hear this and everything. So on. Once again, appreciate you being on here.
Ladies and gentlemen, AJ, Fire from the Gods, killing it. Check out that record, American Sun. No fucking regrets.
No fucking regrets.
With Robb Flynn.